right, so let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen, because while Democrats and the legacy media have been scrambling to tie the Epstein files to Trump, that narrative hasn't been sticking, even with millions of pages being released. It just hasn't gone their way. Instead, in a twist that no one saw coming, their socialist golden boy, Zohran Mamdani, appears to have a connection, and it runs straight through his own mother. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, the fallout is real. And supporters say they feel betrayed, tricked, even some supporters going as far as to say that he is a plant. And so they showed up, gathered outside his residence to make one thing clear. This wasn't about applause. And so as always, smash that thumbs up button. That's the very best way. You let me know that you like the video, and you could always lock in by subscribing to the channel for more content. Let's get into it.
That's right, we know about your mom. Now listen, we was with you, Zohran. We voted for you, Zohran. We advocated for you, Zohran. We advocated for you. You ain't getting up and get up in there and lie to us. You lied, Zohran. Shame, Zohran.
Shame! Shame!
Your first lie was CCRB, Zohran.
Shame!
CCRB had the final say, Zohran.
Shame!
Wow. And so people are upset with Mamdani, ladies and gentlemen. This has clearly crossed into serious territory. And notice how the legacy media has gone quiet on this. They're not touching it because it doesn't fit their narrative, quite frankly. But what people are reacting to is this. Information circulated that Mamdani's mother was allegedly moving in Epstein's social circles. And now her son just happens to become the next mayor of New York City. And for a lot of people, that raises red flags. And because of that, there are supporters who now feel like maybe this wasn't random. Maybe this wasn't organic, Mamdani. And maybe in their view, this was part of something bigger that's been in motion for a long time. And those are the kind of questions being asked now. And with that in mind, here's Mamdani's mother herself speaking about her son becoming the next mayor. Take a listen.
This is, I'm not going to introduce her as anything to do with politics. She is one of the best directors. She made one of my favorite movies, Monsoon Wedding. I loved Monsoon Wedding. It's such a pleasure to meet you in person. By the way, she also happens to be the mother of perhaps the next mayor of New York. How are you doing tonight?
I am the producer of the candidate.
Yes, you are the producer of the candidate. Yes, you are the producer of the candidate. In fact, he worked for you, didn't he, on a movie?
Yeah, he worked for many people. Now he's working for you and the whole world.
Wow. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling like I want to get over with it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people want to get over
I
it.
just want purity, and I want to cuddle him, and I want to really, he's worked so hard, and I just think that it's a new day that awaits us all.
Oh, really? And and I've got to ask, when he was making movies with you?
Only one.
One. What was it, Queen Cutway, right?
Yes.
When he was doing that, what did you think he was going to end up doing in life?
I think of ending up. I think of beginning.
Yes,
Yeah,
well said.
ending up.
And what movie are you...
I'm worried about him.
Okay,
All right, and so there you have that, ladies and gentlemen. And so Mira Nar, Zohran Mamdani's mother, who is a well-known film director, directed a movie back in 2009 called Amelia. And that was basically a biographical film about Amelia Earhart. And so like with many of these high-profile film releases, there was an after party with the film, and it took place at Epstein's best friend's house. And so we also have the email, ladies and gentlemen, from a Peggy Siegel, and she's stating, just left Ghislaine's townhouse after the party for film. Bill Clinton, Jeff Bezos, director, who is Zohran Mamdani's mother, director Mira Nar, as far as etc., naming people who were there. And so Ghislaine is Ghislaine Maxwell, who at that time was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. And so now Mamdani is getting off to a rough start as mayor. Not only is this news blowing up around him, but he's also running straight into reality. New York City is broke. The money isn't there. And now he's begging the state for help. And here's the problem. The governor doesn't want to raise the taxes Mamdani promised, those so-called tax the rich hikes he sold to voters. And suddenly all those big promises are hitting a brick wall. And now New Yorkers are starting to realize something important. Free isn't actually free. Someone always pays, and right now there's no one left to foot the bill.
Story involves the political storm in New York City. 4 weeks after he was sworn in, Mayor Mamdani gets down to the nitty-gritty. A deficit of $2 billion appeared in the weeks of his predecessor's final term, and now $10 billion swarming the upcoming budget. So how to pay for it? The mayor says higher taxes for anyone making more than $1 million a year. But what's the definition of a millionaire in New York City when the cost of some studio apartments here is $1 million? A storm indeed. Here's NJ Burkett.
I will be blunt. New York City is facing a serious fiscal crisis.
Mayor Mamdani spoke directly to New Yorkers. The city, he said, faces an enormous $12 billion budget deficit.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis.
The mayor said City Hall will scrutinize city agencies and their spending, but he insists it will take more than that.
That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations, and it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
Mamdani repeated his campaign mantra, raising taxes by 2% on millionaires and raising the combined corporate tax rate to just over 22%. Critics in the city's business community insist that's a mistake.
Somebody looking to open a new business, start a new corporation, the next Amazon, is never going to make the choice to open in an environment where their 22% tax rate is. They're going to choose Florida, they're going to choose Texas, and that's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Any tax increase would have to be approved by the state legislature and signed by Governor Kathy Hochul.
We're not raising taxes in the state of New York. I'm not raising taxes for the sake of raising taxes. So he'll continue to say what he needs to say. I'll continue to say what I want to say. And you can report it any way you want.
But Mamdani believes he can persuade the governor and lawmakers. Cuts to essential services like the NYPD, he told us, are off the table.
Right now, we are not entertaining the idea of cuts. What we are talking about are savings and efficiencies that can be made, but not getting into the place where New Yorkers have to question whether essential quality services will be delivered to them. That will continue.
Mamdani blamed the deficit on former Mayor Eric Adams' negligent budgeting. But Adams claimed today he left $8 billion in reserves, suggesting the Mamdani administration doesn't know how to read a balance sheet. At City Hall, NJ Burkett, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And so there you have that, and kind of wrapping everything up, ladies and gentlemen, going back to those Epstein files, that was something Democrats themselves pushed for. And listen, the logical side of me has always believed that that was just one big distraction. The Epstein files, the whole thing was just a big distraction. Let's not forget, the Biden administration had these Epstein files for 4 years and did absolutely nothing with them. 4 years. And we're supposed to believe that if there were truly damaging information in those files about Trump, they wouldn't have used it. They warned us about Project 2025, right? They tried to lock Trump up with 34 felony counts. If there was anything in those files that could have destroyed his chance of winning, they would have unloaded it a long time ago. Now, to be fair, the way the current administration and Pam Bondi have handled the rollout, it hasn't been great. But the entire process exists because this is what Democrats demanded. And here's where things get uncomfortable for them now. Now you have their golden boy, Zohran Mamdani. His own mother is being mentioned in these files. And listen, for context, you know, this matters. Being mentioned in the Epstein files doesn't mean guilt. What matters is whether anyone actually did something illegal or whether anything was being covered up for years. But that's not how the left has framed this. They've spent this entire time trying to convince the American people that Trump being mentioned thousands of times, they claim, automatically means guilt. That association alone is enough to convict him, at least in the court of public opinion. Well, okay, if we're going to use that logic, if that's the logic they want to use, then what we're learning now is that a lot more people connected to the Democrat Party and the left were associating with Epstein during that same period. And now you see Mamdani supporters questioning everything because they feel played. They feel misled. People's champion image they were sold doesn't line up with what they're seeing now. And for many of them, the realization is setting in. He may not be who they thought he was. It might be something else entirely. But now let me hear from you. Drop your comments down below. As always, make sure you smash that thumbs up. That's how you tell me that you like the video. Subscribe for more. And as always, until next time.